Okay, as mentioned kanina, as I was introduced, sa Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractors po ako, or PALSCON. Siyempre, ang tanong ko po ay something na related sa job generation at job preservation na alam po natin na top priority po yan ng mga kandidato ngayon sa kanilang mga agenda, kanilang mga plataforma, di ho ba? Napakagandang balita ho kasi para sa ating lahat na ang employment rate sa ating bansa ay unti-unti na ring tumataas dahil na rin syempre sa mga negosyo na unti-unti na ring bumabangon. Kaya kapag sumigla ang negosyo, may trabaho. Walang trabaho kung walang negosyo. As simple as that, di ho ba? Kapag sinabing trabaho po, ang gusto po natin, ang mga lehitimong employers ay makapagbigay ng disente at dikalidad na trabaho. Disente dahil nagbibigay ng tamang sweldo, tamang benepisyo, at magandang or safe na environment, di ho ba? So kami po ay nakikiisa sa mga kandidato at mga leaders ng ating bansa na pinaglalaban ang karapatan ng mga manggagawa. Pero ang pinaka-importanteng karapatan na alam po natin syempre ay magkaroon ng trabaho muna ang mga ating mga kababayan. Ngayon ang tanong ko, Professor, ano po ang pwede mong maibigay na advice sa mga lehitimong mga service contractors o mga manpower agencies na nawawalan na ho ng pag-asa at gusto nang sumuko kung minsan dahil sa patuloy na pagsigaw na itigil ang kontraktualisasyon na hanggang ngayon ay meron pa ring mga misconception dahil para sa kanila or para sa iba siguro na ang contractualization ay synonymous doon sa service contracting na isang industriya na ang tanging adhikain lang po ay makapagbigay ng flexibility sa mga ibang employers para sila ay may focus sa kanilang mga negosyo or kaya kanilang mga core competencies. At siyempre tulungan ang ating bansa na maging globally competitive at makapaghikayat ng maraming investment sa ating bansa at makapag-generate na rin siyempre ng maraming trabaho para ang mga kababayan ho natin ay hindi na ho lumabas ng ating bansa na kagaya ho ng nabanggit po ninyo kanina ay para hindi naaabuso at hindi iwanan ang kanilang mga pamilya.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Rhoda, thank you for that. No, ang mahalaga ho talaga sa atin na magkaroon ng decent wages, no? Napakahalaga ho yan. And the way to decent wages in all countries has been through being regularized, no? As part of the workforce, no? And regularization means, that the factory itself o yung negosyo mismo ang nagbibigay ng regularization, no? And tenure, lahat ho ng mga aspects na yan that allow for stability in the job, no? And so ang nagyari ho kasi sa contractualization is that and I'm saying about yung mga alam ho namin na mga manpower agencies, hindi ko siguro kasama kayo roon, but there are a lot of manpower agencies that are just really labor contracting na nandoon rang as middle for a firm that really does not want to regularize workers, no? And doesn't in fact, I just want to give you an example, yun ho sa handyman na nagkaroon ng strike ho because hindi na nare-regularize yung workers. Meron ho isang manpower agency na basically just performs, brings, the workers to the firm, and then nawawala na ho. Doesn't even fight for their rights against the employer, no? So ang kailangan ho talaga is these kinds, we really need to examine this problem very closely because if manpower agencies are mainly providing not entrepreneurial services, no? And yung regular entrepreneurs provide entrepreneurial services, pero labor contracting lang ho, and that's not fair, no?
Yes.
So I think yung sabi natin is that regularization, hindi na ho contractualization. At saka ho yung mga illegitimate manpower agencies are in fact disbanded, no? And yung mga entrepreneurs lang that provide capital and not just labor should be the ones that really take the risk, no? Because right now many manpower agencies don't take any risk at all. They are mainly puppets of the
Principals.
the entrepreneurs, no? Ngayon, pero mas malaki yung problema natin dito kasi ang problema natin is that why is our growth not sustainable as a country, no? And that's because if you do not have effective demand, sabi nga ni Keynes, you're not going to have a dynamic economy. If you don't give people purchasing power, then you're not going to have growth that is dependent on fulfilling the demand, which means the growth of industry, no? So ang sense ho talaga namin is that the only way to have a dynamic local industry, micro enterprises, medium enterprises, and small enterprises, is by paying a decent wage to workers, because after all, it is wages that is transformed into purchasing power that goes to the grocery and buys the goods that the firms produce, no? So ito ho yung kulang sa atin, yung effective internal market. Meron ho yan sa Indonesia, meron ho yan sa Thailand, okay? Meron ho yun sa Malaysia. Kulang ho tayo sa internal market sa Pilipinas dahil ho napaka-anti-worker ho ng ating mga policies, no? So it's time, sabi nga ni Calio dito ko, it's time that workers, hindi lang pabrika, pero it's time that workers have their just share. Kami na, worker, tayo naman, yun ho yung slogan namin. At alam ho nyo, sa tingin ho namin talaga, no? We feel that the micro, medium, and small entrepreneurs have a common interest with yung mga manggagawa, no? Ang problema ho natin, yung mga malalaking mga empresa, a lot of them, mga TNIs, transnational corporations, no? That benefit from indiscriminate trade liberalization, okay? Because our government, follows this push for trade liberalization. Ito ho yung mga nagbe-benefit talaga. So, if you ask me, Rhoda, I think our local entrepreneurs and our local workers have a common interest in having a decent wages and a decent standard of living. Kaya ho yung proposal ho namin talaga dyan is, have a 750 peso minimum wage, no? Because that will not only satisfy workers and promote their living standards, that will satisfy the economy as a whole. We will have a very dynamic economy. So, very short term yung paningin ng mga bayaran mo na lang yan ng 200 pesos a day, 300 pesos a day, kasi iniisip lang nila is yung short term profits. But the long term survival of their industries cannot, hindi mo mabibili yun pag binabarat mo ang workers mo. So, yun yung national interest ho natin to. I mean, I'm not saying this, just as, as a partisan, no? But objectively speaking, national interest is served by higher wages. Otherwise, we become an economy that's extremely weak, non-dynamic, and people are forced to go abroad, no? Where they think they'll have higher wages, only to be exposed to brutal exploitation and sexual abuse in places like Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Huwag ho kayo mag-alala, Professor Walden, kaakibat po ninyo ang PulseCon na magbigay ng disenteng trabaho at nagre-regular po kami ng mga manggagawa po.
Empleyado. Thank you, Ma'am Roda. Eto
Ma'am
na,
Roda,
Sir Dan.
Ma'am Roda, siguro yung kun lang, yung I think you said legitimate service workers.
Legitimate service contractors po.
Legitimate service.
Yes po.
Okay.
Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractors. Ito po yung asosasyon ng mga manpower agencies. Yun ang commonly tawag sa mga service contractors. So pero ito po yung mga legitimate na nagre-regularize ng mga
Ng mga empleyado.
nagbibigay ng tamang benepisyo at sweldo.